This is a special report.
So, you just go through a 6-pack of beer, and then you get in the car to head off to the store for more. How does that sound? Or maybe you just polished off a bottle of wine and decide to hop on the motorcycle for a ride. Maybe you just smoked a blunt and you think you are fit to drive your semi in rush hour traffic. Or maybe you just snorted a line, hit the crack pipe, or shot up some heroin, then decide to get behind the wheel for a leisurely drive. How does that sound? Is this kosher with everyone? Well, we the people say nope. We have laws which legislate against impaired driving because a bunch of sensitive, overreactive, whiny folks have formed a majority consensus that says they don't want people throwing around 2 tons of steel in an impaired, delirious state of mind, since this can have fatal consequences for you and other motorists. What a bunch of buzzkills. Well, how about this? You drink a 5th of scotch, or you do an 8-ball of blow, or maybe you crush and snort some Oxycontin. Then you go off to shop for a car or look for an apartment while you are high and feeling good. When the high wears off, you find yourself in some overpriced lemon that you were talked into, and now you're looking at 72 months of payments at $500 per month. Or worse, you find yourself in a mortgage for some overpriced, dilapidated broom closet for the next 30 years. Sounds awesome, huh? How smart would this be to get high, then make life decisions? Or how about if you knew somebody that had an addiction which caused them to hurt others or self-harm? Would you try to encourage them to sobriety and help them for their own good, or would you simply encourage them to find another drug? You see, we realize that mind-altering substances can adversely affect oneself and others, and we legislate against such inebriations while in positions of immediate power, such as when one is behind the wheel of a car, which has profound implications on those in the immediate vicinity. Interesting. So, driving impaired is illegal, and living life impaired is just plain stupid. In such a state, you are handicapped, and you may or may not do things in an altered state that you would not do in a sober lucid state where you could plainly see ramifications and costs. Curious. Yet in our hypocrisy, there is a vicious addiction that no one legislates or even acknowledges. This would be romance, aka the love bug, or Cupid's arrow, as it is known on the streets. So guess what? There is no falling in love. There is no romantic love between the sexes. Courtship is a chemical high. Romantic interaction between males and females is a chemical event of various intoxicants which alter your reason and sobriety. You see, when you look at society, there is a matrix that you are looking at, an artificial construct meant to look serene and orderly. But if you could truly see the chaos and misery going on behind the scenes, then you become awakened. For example, look at society around you. You do not observe people falling in love. You are witnessing dope fiends enjoying a concoction of various chemicals and drugs. Life really is a chemical event. Things make you feel bad or good, excited or bored. All of this is accompanied by the releasing of or withholding of certain chemicals, which makes us feel good, excited when released, or depressed when they are not secreted. Everything coming into the 5 senses is stimuli for chemical or drug secretion, which influences feeling, thinking, and even behavior. For example, food is a drug which makes us feel good or energized, after which there is a crash, and then we all hop into the car to go back to McDonald's to get that euphoria again. However, love bug is a totally abrasive yet ignored hardcore drug. Addiction is multi-stage and happens a little something like this. First, you see a female you find physically attractive, and you get an adrenaline rush. The increased heartbeat, the sweating, the physical excitation. This is the same rush that people drive 200 miles per hour or jump out of airplanes to get. Adrenaline is a powerful drug and motivator. I know, I am a speed junkie. I love speed, G-forces, crazy-ass roller coasters, and I haven't jumped out of a plane yet, but guess what? It's on the list. In the beginning of a romantic association, this adrenaline is on constant drip every time you think about or see some particular chick. Then, as the stages continue and you associate further, you get a release of dopamine, which rewards you with the same rush as cocaine. And finally, serotonin rounds up the trio, which is a super feel-good and actually can cause temporary insanity in the experiencers, who are riding high and seeking more and more of the feel-good experience, more of the drug. Then we have oxytocin, which is a bonding agent released in mother's breast milk, causing infants to bond to their mothers and essentially bond to females. It is also released in courtship, and this is an insidious chemical which causes males to emotionally bond to a particular female. On top of that, we have endorphins, vasopressin, and a slew of other chemicals released in proprietary concoctions during flirtation and courtship. Then you hit a plateau of tolerance to the drug, and with love bug, it comes when you find yourself used to, even bored with, and sick of that person that you fell in love with. And falling in love is street lingo for the person you got high and shared the love bug drug with. Your romantic partner is your needle buddy. Then, when you wake up from your high and you see your needle buddy for the slob they really are, this is called falling out of love. You see, there is no falling out of love in the true sense of the phrase. Rather, there is two junkies simply creating a tolerance to a drug. Breakup of a love bug needle buddy commonly occurs when this familiar person, the partner who once upon a time gave you a crazy rush of all these chemicals at once, now this person no longer elicits a release of adrenaline or serotonin within you, and you are left with the same thing every addict is left with after the high wears off: withdrawals. Withdrawals for the drug, not the partner you formerly shared it with. Partners are interchangeable. It is the concoction of chemical drugs, the Cupid's arrow, that people seek. So this is when breakup or divorce or cheating happens, because one party wants that high once again. So they look for someone different, a new needle buddy, who will provide them that newness, that excitement, and release of chemical romance once again. Sex and romance, much like booze and shrooms, are merely chemical events. When it comes to human emotion, love is plutonic. There is no falling in and out of love, like some revolving door of human emotion fictitiously labeled as love. You see, when there is such a cavalier and flippant entrance and egress of being in love, this means that the love was conditional. And when the conditions are no longer met, the love goes. It leaves. Love is not conditional, but romantic relations between the sexes is very conditional, meaning it is not love, but rather a conditional association based upon utility usurpation of males. Yet getting males to give up their utility willingly, this is tricky. So males are hornswoggled into this servitude because they get hooked on love bug and continue to chase it, meanwhile bleeding their resources, energy, dreams, and ambitions, even risking their very well-being and lives as they jump from needle buddy to needle buddy. Romance is a fairy tale. There is only the high of courtship, then the low of love bug wearing off, after which you'll do anything to get the high back. This is the true state of romantic interactions between the sexes. This is the truth behind the false facade of the Matrix. This is why males are not being honorable or heroic when they elevate females and devalue males. They are simply junkies, drug addicts, chasing their high. Think about all the illicit drugs out there right now. Think about all the people ingesting, injecting, huffing, or snorting these substances right now around the globe. How many of these people are in your immediate environment, making decisions which might affect you? How many of these people are on the highway right in front of you? It is scary to think about all the people out there right now operating machinery or making decisions while intoxicated with inebriating substances, such as alcohol or narcotics. Yet, think of all the people making decisions right now under the influence of love bug, which influences their thoughts and decisions which may very well affect you. After you have been drinking is not the time to decide if you are safe to drive. Likewise, after you have been flirting with females is not the time to decide anything about your life. You see, not only does inebriation cause poor motor function, which may fatally affect others, hence the reason it is illegal, it also causes poor life choices. Addicts chasing their highs do things that they would not normally do, such as stealing from family, prostitution, etc., in order to assure continued access to their drug. Males under the influence of Cupid's arrow, aka love bug, will do even more to protect their high. Murder, lie, cheat, steal, backstab, disown family, friends, nearly anything and everything males will do for females, simply to keep their drug supply flowing. Moreover, when you are trying to dry out an alcoholic, do you tell them, "Oh, you just need to find a different kind of alcohol, the right one for you"? Yeah, but we darn sure tell love bug addicts to simply find another source of your high, another drug dealer. The right needle buddy for you is out there somewhere right now. So we have big, elaborate interventions to discourage friends or family members from continuing their alcohol, narcotic, or gambling addictions, or the law will intervene for us. But we encourage males' indulgence in their love bug addiction to courtship chemicals. Both sets of substances alter behaviors, choices, even personalities. But one is bad, and the other is just a case of being with the wrong person, which is a personal problem, whereas drinking and driving is a public problem. Sex is recognized as an addiction, but in reality, it is an organic eventuality of love bug usage. Love bug is the interaction, the flirtation and validation received from interaction between the sexes. The excitement of something new, the thrill of the chase, the pleasure received from having someone express interest in you, which makes you feel desirable. This is the drug. And the addiction to love bug comes long before sex is introduced. And if sex happens, it only strengthens the addiction to love bug. It compounds it. Sexual addiction is really an offshoot of love bug addiction, in which the person becomes obsessive compulsive and focuses solely on the sexual act. Furthermore, the withdrawals of chemical addictions can be excruciating. Coming off of heroin is said to be quite rough. Coming off last night's binge drinking is not fun either. That is until you get a Bloody Mary down the hatch as soon as you fall out of bed. Then it's all good again. The withdrawals can temporarily drive people loco. Yet the withdrawals of love bug addicts is worse than any withdrawals of even crocodile. These males will do the same things they did chasing the high, only now they are desperate and obsessed with getting the high back, so they will lie, cheat, murder even more so in a desperate attempt to keep a female or to get another needle buddy. Do you really want to be a passenger on a plane which is piloted by someone who is going through coke withdrawals? Yeah, probably not. Yet think of the bat guano crazy stuff males have done over females. Do you really want to be represented by a lawyer who is going through a breakup or found out that the girlfriend is cheating on him or cleaned him out when he was at work? You think love bug junkies are not really addicts, or that their chemical romance is somehow lesser than that of a meth head? Yeah, do you really want to be a passenger on a Greyhound bus whose driver just had his heart ripped out? Do you want to put your welfare within the reach of some male going through love bug or romance withdrawal? The chemical romance causes obsession and fixation upon the high received, and withdrawals causes even more obsessive fixation on the pain caused in its absence. You see, addicts experiencing withdrawals are unpredictable, hateful, and even violent. Yet males going through love bug withdrawals, they are just as bad. Do you want to be under the knife of a doctor having relationship problems? Really? Well, ask this guy who went in to have a testicular abnormality corrected, and while he was completely incapacitated and helpless under anesthesia, the doctor throws a temper tantrum and cuts off his penis, then cuts it into 3 pieces before storming out of the room. Yeah. Are you kidding me? And the doctor's excuse was that he was having personal problems. I will bet dollars to donuts that these personal problems involved a female. Just a little friendly FYI in case you find yourself in a Romanian operational theater. We don't realize how often we put our welfare in the hands of others. The bus driver or the airline pilot, the doctor, the judge, the cop, fellow motorists, your banker, the myriad people that decide any number of things that will affect you and your future. Do you want these people intoxicated, or do you want them lucid and sober and focused on your welfare? Well, obviously, we want people to be fully focused on our well-being. Hence the reason we don't allow drivers to do 5 shots of vodka, then hit the pavement for a road trip. Yet, intoxication from courtship chemicals, which provide the same rewards and effects as illicit drugs, these are okay. In fact, we are a culture that encourages coupling between males and females. We are a romantic culture, and we encourage coupling and courtship. In effect, we encourage addicts and needle buddies. We are a world of enablers, and the message is, get your high from romance and courtship, not from bongs. Yeah, curious, huh? It would be ill-advised to get high and sign your resources, even your life away, to a car or a mortgage or a job. And people that would take money from people who are not lucid, or those who would take advantage of people in an altered state by getting them into mortgages, are shady individuals taking advantage of the intoxicated or otherwise mentally handicapped. In fact, you would most likely be able to get out of any contract in which you could prove duress, such as being stoned out of your gourd and someone taking advantage of your impaired state. However, we find it perfectly acceptable to take advantage of and money from males who are high on courtship chemicals and sign them up for financial servitude with rings and cars, weddings and honeymoons, mortgages and soul-draining jobs. Then, when the chemicals become less effective and love bug wears off sometime down the road, then they are met with reality when they get the bill for their few months of partying. Suddenly, they are stuck in contracts, whether to banks or to their needle buddy, in the form of a partnership incorporation to the state, which we cavalierly label as marriage. It's easy to understand why males mistake courtship and sexual excitation chemicals for love. You see someone that appeals to you, and you are flooded with adrenaline, endorphins, and feel-good chemicals. Then, in the midst of this chemical deliciousness, you are being inundated with oxytocin, which strongly causes emotional bonding. So when the sexual excitation chemical high wears off, chances are you are emotionally bonded and develop intense feelings of care for your needle buddy, even after the honeymoon high is over. You see, genuine love exists outside of the realm of romantic excitation and attraction. Addiction to self-enriching pleasure and chemical highs exist within the realm of romantic attraction. Love is self-sacrifice for another. Love is not adrenaline and endorphins and chemical rewards, which puts your focus on you and attaining more of this rush that makes you feel warm and gooey all over. Love is the most intense caring for another. Love is giving a kidney to another. Love is not gazing into the eyes of the opposite sex on the dance floor or getting sweaty palms and increased heart rates every time they text you. This excitation that you feel from male-female sexual tension is a different kind of love. It is a love of romance, love of the chemical high that your needle buddy precipitates and causes in you. If true love is spawned out of romantic attraction, then why does nearly 3/4 of all male-female associations end in a breakup of some kind? Yeah. And the supposed kind acts that males and females do for each other while enamored with one another are not true acts of giving. They are acts to ensure that their needle buddy stays with them so that they will continue to get more love bug in order to make them feel good. Love is lucid, sober actions of sacrifice with no thoughts of reciprocation. There is a night and day difference between giving a gift to someone who does not sexually excite you and giving a gift to someone you are trying to romantically win over. When you understand these paradigms, love songs become transparent. People are not singing about actual love. They are singing about the ups and downs of love bug addiction. Love songs are simply drug addiction songs. Just think of love songs as narcotic or alcohol junkies singing odes to their drug of choice. They are singing praises to the bottle or the needle, and then they sing about the despair when the bottle is empty or they can't find a spoon or a lighter to cook their gear with. Thus, Unchained Melody, or Don't Be Cruel, becomes clear as the addicts singing these songs. And hence, you understand that you've lost that lovin' feeling becomes you've stopped giving me that drug high. So, bring back that lovin' feeling because I want that high once again. So, you enjoy courtship chemicals and rituals? Fine, but be honest with yourself. You are enjoying a drug, a high, not love. You see, most of the problems males face arise from making decisions while they are intoxicated and not thinking clearly. If males could grasp that the exciting flirtation with this female might lead to pain, heartache, financial ruin, and ostracization from family or community, possibly even suicide, they might think twice. Or not. Who are we kidding? Guys are so weak and pathetic. They would still chase salvation through females, even knowing the costs of dancing with Cupid's arrow. Males are love bug addicts for life. They don't seek romantic sobriety. They don't want it. After you have been drinking is not the time to decide whether you are fit to go hang gliding. And after you have interacted with females is not the time to decide anything about your life. Think about it. Educate males to know the drug and the cycle of addiction before they get all Twitter-pated over that first wink from a fake eyelash. Just hear the confession of a love bug junkie.
The first time I did it, I was hooked, and I would do anything to get more, and I still do. Lie, cheat, steal, backstab. There is nothing I would not do to keep love bug flowing.
Friends, this is Archangel. Keep male lives whole. Friends help friends live sober. This message brought to you by Penguins Against Love Bug, the Ad Council, and Budweiser. If you are struggling, seek out a Love Bug Anonymous meeting in your area.
Yeehaw!